Hello and welcome to the second tutorial in the website development series. Today I'm going to show you how you can add simple headings, paragraphs, add effects such as bold and italic and much more to your site.
So I'm going to show you a little bit about how to use headings. Okay, so headings are really important to adding text within your website, and there's 5 different headings to choose from. So you've got H1. And when you end it, it will automatically put that in there, the ending tag. So if you just put in there my first heading and save that, you'll see in here that it has put that text in quite large compared to your other text that is in there. Okay, so let's try some of the others. So you've got H1, H2. Let's have a look at 3. Okay, so now they're very boring titles, I can see, but it's just to show you the differences that you'll get. So if you save it and have a look at the preview, you'll see these are the different types of heading. So you can see the kind of importance that you can show within your website. So just with a slight change in one number, you can see quite a bit of difference in the actual preview of it. Okay, so there we have our first headings in place. So hopefully you've got a good idea of what you can do with those. And what we're going to do next is we're going to add some paragraphs. Okay, so what I'm going to do, you may have just seen on here, we've got the lorem ipsum. If you don't know already, this is a dummy text which a lot of web designers use to just fill out pages, just to add some text that doesn't make sense unless you can speak Latin. So I use these quite a lot just to help get some examples of what the text is going to look like. So if you just click generate on this one, you'll see it doesn't make sense. Okay, so I'm just going to actually copy this one paragraph here and pop this into my web page. So inside of this body tag, remember. Okay, so there's my paragraph. So if I save this, you'll see at the moment it's just one paragraph as I copied it over. But what we can do is we can add paragraph tags. So if we do open bracket P, and you'll see it automatically puts this ending in there for us, which is really important. So I'm just going to copy it and move it over to just here, I think, just to kind of show you what it's going to look like. Oh, don't quite know what happened there. Okay, so I want this sentence here just to be a paragraph of its own. So let's have a look, save it and have a look to see what it looks like. Okay, so you can see that it has created its own little paragraph just like that. And if we add more, refresh, you can see that it's starting to do it to anything that we put those paragraph tags in. Okay, so when you do add your actually written text into your website, you can make sure you use your paragraph tags just to make your website presented a little bit nicer so people can actually read the content that you're putting in there. The next thing I'm going to show you is how you can add effects to your text, such as bold and italic. So I'm actually just going to get rid of this sentence here and just keep our 3 little paragraphs here. Now say I wanted this lorem ipsum to be more withstanding, so make it bold. All I would need to do is, actually I'm just going to copy and paste this just above. Okay, so with this text I want to make it bold. So what I can do is do open bracket B, and again it puts the ending in there for me, so just hover it and drag it to the end. Oh, lost my L. And then if I save that one and go to here, you can see that it has changed that text that I put there into bold. Okay, so it's up to you. You could just have it as a heading, especially if it was, you know, as a subheading within your site. But it's just a handy little thing. You might want to have it part way through. So say this word here. You know, if you just wanted a certain word, the bold element is just quick and easy that you can add to that. Now the other one is italic. Okay, so quite often websites have italic text in there. So again, like the word that we've put there, so what we're going to do to make something italic, say this hello world, I'm just going to do open bracket, letter I, and close it. Drag that to the end, save it, and just preview it in here, and you can see that that has changed it to italic. Another way of doing it, and this is probably a more modern way, is doing EM. So this is emphasis. So EM, drag that over to the end, click save, and you can see it's the same thing. Okay, so it's up to you whether you have it as italic or if you have it as emphasis, but that is just a handy tip to know for when you're adding text to your website. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you is how to add line breaks. So what we can do, I'm actually going to remove these bits here, and I'm just going to grab some more information here and paste that in. So what, at the moment, if I save that and show you what this looks like, it's all one big paragraph, okay? So even with the hello world, it's just part of that same paragraph. Now, sometimes you might want to have a line break, so part way down, so here, you want it to jump down below that. So what we can do just here is we can just do BR for break. Now this one's slightly different. You do a gap and a backspace, and then you just close that bracket, save that, and you can see that it has now moved it below that. Okay, so similar to a paragraph, it just might be sometimes useful just to know if you wanted to, you know, part way through a word, just drop it down to the next line. You might not ever use this, but it's handy to know. Now, the last thing I'm going to show you in this tutorial is how to do a horizontal rule. So this is quite useful depending on, you know, the content of your site, but it's just a handy tip to know. So I'm just going to remove all of that from there. Okay, so let's use our placeholder text, and we are just going to add some text down there. Okay. Get rid. So I've got some text here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press enter. And what I want to put in here is a horizontal rule. So if I open bracket and go HR, gap, and a line, and then close that, you'll see this is like the line break. It doesn't open or close necessarily. It is just its own entity, as you can see here. It would add it in there otherwise. If you save that now, have a look in your browser and you can see that it has added in this line there. So sometimes you might just want to separate different sections of your site. So this line is just quite handy there for you. So we've gone through how you can add different types of headings. We've looked at ways of adding paragraphs to text. You've made your text bold and italic or added an emphasis. You've also looked at adding a line break as well as horizontal rules. So hopefully you've got quite a good selection to be practicing with. And the thing with code is that it's not as scary as what it looks. You just need to practice with it. Okay, so thank you ever so much for watching, and the next tutorial will be shortly.